You could not be on point. Not saying you are, but there's a chance, you know?
This is Isaiah chapter 40, 46 and verse 8. Remember this, and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I am Yahweh, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Yeah, you see that? He said he declares the end from the beginning. See?
That's right.
He's declaring the end of the story at the beginning. So he already said these things before they come to pass. And he talked about this image that this devil is going to come down with, which is this new world order. See, the Most High got to be dealing with you for you to piece it all together, like going from there's no new thing under the sun, going from the Roman Empire and how in the Maccabees they tried to make all people come under one. It's the same concept, man. This new world order. They've already been, they have already planned this out, and the Most High already gave us, you could say, the blueprint of what they're trying to accomplish. And He told us that by way of the scriptures, and He also taught us to be circumspect and look at how they're going to try to set this up. And it looks like they're going to crash the dollar. They're going to crash the dollar. So all the dollars you get, and that's why they, issuing out money. I think they approved the second stimulus. I think they approved that. To go out. So they're going to keep issuing out this money, which puts more money in the economy, which increases the debt, which devalues the dollar even more. So eventually they're going to crash it. It's going to be no good. And they're going to say, look, folks, you still get paid, but this is how you're going to get paid.
And if I might say, it also puts a lot of the lower class and Jake in a dependent state of being. Like they're going to keep thinking, then when it's not there anymore, bam, you get this shit though.
I got a precept. Isaiah chapter 36 verse 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him.
So that's what happens when you trust in Pharaoh, man. It's a broken reed. If a man lean upon it, it shall even pierce it. So that's what happens when you say, you put your mind and soul at rest and say, okay, Egypt, Babylon, this is my home. Right? I'm gonna trust the government. I'm gonna wear these masks. I'm gonna stack up on Lysol. I'm gonna stack up. I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna stay at home until they say, okay, that's good, but that ain't good enough. Now we come into your homes and we're trying to take your children. They're talking about that, man. They actually said that the damn devil at the CDC said, now we gotta go to people's homes. So they told you to stay at home. Now they saying, look, we coming to your home and we're gonna separate. So what was the point of staying at home? What was the point of staying at home to try to reduce the spread if they're gonna come and try to go there anyway and remove your children and inject them with it, man? That's wicked. And as we was talking about, they already set the stage to try to say, well, you Israelites, you Negroes, you are the number one. You could say you're the number one target that the COVID, because y'all are poor, y'all have bad habitats, y'all eat poorly. So we got to come to y'all because y'all are very risky, Of course, blame Jake, and we got to inject y'all first. What those two French devils say? When they said, "Oh, we're gonna test the vaccine. We should test it in Africa." Yeah, let's test it in Africa. The fucking devils, and they burnt that testing center down. So these people know this devil is coming, man. Because when he's coming, he's not coming with good intentions like you think he is. As we just read, man, you put your trust in Egypt, it's gonna stab you in the back, man. This man is talking. You follow this man laws to the T. Now they're talking about something. We gotta come to your homes now, and we're gonna have to take your children away.
Yeah.
So what was the point of all this?
I got a precept.
If I may say real quick, when has he ever came with anything that was beneficial to humanity in itself?
Yeah.
When?
Exactly.
Hey, what it say? It was Ecclesiastes, Sirach chapter 14 verse 7. If he doeth If he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. At the end, at the last, he shall declare his wickedness.
Yeah, kind of.
Another precept, if I might add. All right, this is going back when Esau started coming to your houses, man. So this is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out their houses.
Yeah, and that's that insurrection.
I was gonna say, can you run it back from the top again?
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Those that fear the Lord, man. So the pressure gonna be on, but that's that fire to try. You know, it's something that we gotta go through to get through the kingdom, because that's the end goal. Like we know all this stuff coming, but that's the end goal. You know, those that fear the Lord, man. A lot of people don't fear the Lord, man. Out here, you walk up and down the streets every day, you overhear these conversations, and you just, you know, like I was just overhearing conversations all last week, and I'm just it hadn't dwelled on me, just like a lot of people finna die, man. Like y'all just, where people minds at, man. Like they don't fear the Lord,
and that's why Esau gonna come after those who do fear the Lord, because he knows that we're pretty much problematic for the people. Just like they censoring videos, they're censoring it because the word that's going out is problematic for the agenda that they got coming, which is everybody needs to comply. And they're gonna look at us and label us as, oh, you guys are counterproductive. You know, we're trying to get people on board. We gotta get y'all out the way. That's why that video, I didn't finish the whole thing, but they were talking about Israelites in the courtroom, and the Edomite was like, oh, okay, we pretty much categorize them in 4 different groups. One that's dangerous to the public, and that's what they could do. They could label us as dangerous to the public. They could label us as terrorists. That's the worst word you could be labeled as on this side, is the terrorist. In America, it's a terrorist. If somebody's labeled as a terrorist group, that's what get all these Edomites riled up, and people say, we got to deal with them. Because in their eyes, people who are terrorists are people who are violent, they are inconsiderate of others, and they're looking to take people's lives down. Us, the Israelites, we're harmless as doves.
Yep.
We don't advocate violence. We prophesy that violence is coming, but we don't advocate. That's 2 different things. It's like telling people, it's like telling the president, keep going down this path, you're going to ignite a war. You ain't advocating it, you just prophesying.
Right.
Keep going in these steps, it's eventually going to lead to this outcome. That's what we're doing, but they're trying to label us as terrorist groups. You know? And again, that was prophesied before.
But you know, that's because they know that the help is coming to help us. You know, they don't want us out here giving people something to believe in that's not them.
Especially Jake. Especially Jake, man. They don't want him to believe, man.
Because they know when Jake come to the realization that who he is and what he's capable of through the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, what can you do, man? Like scripture tell you to don't fear those that can kill the body. So and they countless of years have went by where they try to break down our bodies, break down our families, break down everything about us, but we still here. But now we the face of COVID. You know, like we're more susceptible to get this and to get that, but you know, our bodies actually are built better to withstand a lot more.
I had a quick precept, if I might add to that.
Well, pre-death.
Let me get this out. This is Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 1. Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by my name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Lord, and make mention of the power of Israel, but not in truth, nor in righteousness. For they call themselves of the holy city, and stay themselves upon the power of Israel. The Lord of hosts is his name. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they And they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. Because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is an iron sinew, and thy brow brass. I have even from the beginning declared it to thee before it came to pass. I showed it thee, lest thou shouldest say, mine idol hath done them, and my graven image and my molten image had commanded them.
So when the Most High issues out those prophecies, he makes sure that he says it and declares it before, lest Israel get hard-headed and say, oh, he didn't tell us that, it was my idol, it was this. In this case, it's New World Order. People could say, oh, we guessed it. Well, you got a lot of truthers out there. No, the scriptures talk about that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, all those troopers are reciting what? They reciting the mark of the beast. They reciting the scriptures.
Yep.
Why? Because even they know, I don't even believe the Bible, but I know the mark of the beast that's in the scriptures. Or that's how you get people to believe. Because at the end of the day, they reciting the scriptures. All right. Because they're saying they're citing the scripture and they're explaining why. Because it's all about control. Esau, from the beginning, his spirit is always with control. And in one way how he can control you is by putting your life in digital means. Because if they put your life on digital paper, on digital file, they'll work out of one central bank, which Visa's got one, all right? They just said it. They're gonna have a central bank to pretty much run everything while they issue this. And they have the power to control you and turn your life on and off at will, anytime. China has a social grading system, social credit score, shall I say, and that's how they use that to punish. That's tyranny on a whole other level. They use that to punish their civilians. There was one so-called Chinese Moabite he's all about liberal rights. And he said some things on social media that they didn't like, so they gave him a bad social credit score, so now he can't lead the country. They have those ways to penalize you. So people over there in China, they're pretty much just a bunch of damn walking robots. Yep. When that whole COVID shutdown thing happened, they actually went up to your houses and boarded you inside with those with wood and stuff. That's how serious them people didn't have a damn choice, right? So it goes to show you that the system, because they're in the same boat with Esau. That's why they're in agreement. Yeah, they may go back and forth or whatever, but at the end of the day, they got the same goal. They want security and they want control. They may bump heads with one another, but if you go over there to China and you go in their security offices, nothing but Edomites.
What they're saying, two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, and they all know English. Because if you're in China and you want to be a pilot, you got to know English. If you want to do any business that involves interaction with trading, you have to know English. They're in the same boat. So America still has their foot over them, even though they're so caught on their own. You know what I'm saying?
The tie to the prince of the air too. Because flying, you gotta know English, and that's Esau language.
You gotta know that stuff. So the Lord already prophesied that the image of the beast should come to pass. Just the New World Order, the system, and then he has that mark to solidify his image in the earth. And that mark is the RFID microchip. That's what we believe. And that's the only thing. There's nothing else that's pointing anywhere else. You see, that's what it's pointing to. Getting this chip, and that chip is your new way of living. And it's pretty much going to be the new way of living. It's going to be your way of pledging to them your allegiance, your way of pledging to them, proving to them that you are not a terrorist, that you are not a public threat. That's where the vaccine comes into play. If they're gonna say, just like now, if you don't vaccinate your children, what do they say? Oh, you're a public health risk. You're putting your child at risk of other people. So you got vaxxers who saying, for the sake of other people, get your children vaccinated. Then you got the anti-vaxxers who saying, fuck that. I want to do things the natural way. And what happened in New York last year, when they forced people to get vaccinated for the flu shot, they took away the religious exemptions. You had to get it. There was no choice. And them Edomites was all for it because they was like, good, make them do it. We have the power to do it. Let's just take away their exemptions. gonna be the same thing with the chip, man. You gotta understand, man. It's gonna start with the banks. Why wouldn't they start with the banks? That's where your heart of your money is. It's where your heart of your surety is your mind. If your banks up and tell you and say, listen, we are no longer dealing with cash, we're dealing with the chip, the ATMs now only deal with the chip. Just read about it, right? With Visa anyway. It may start with Visa, it may start with MasterCard, then it go to, whatever else, right? If they tell you we are no longer dealing with cash, or the ATMs are no longer dealing with cash or issuing out cash, the only way you can exchange money is by way of everything digital, right? And they'll say that the only way you can do your cash transactions is in person. How convenient is that for most people? Especially with banks, they close on every damn holiday. They never really open. So they're gonna slowly condition you over. They say, oh yeah, it's not mandatory anything. It's just, you gotta come in person. Then eventually that's gonna be done away. Eventually. So this is how they're gonna get you, man. You got that?
Yeah.
Gotta read it. It's gonna be drilled 100,000 times, but we in a time of prophecy, so it's gotta come out. Right.
This is Revelation.
That video go viral. Let's have a conversation.
What?
Let's have a conversation.
You gotta get out the car.
This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he
The image is the New World Order. Right?
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Do you know what that mark is?
What, according to that?
Yeah.
66.
Well, the mark